Director of Public Prosecutions to appeal the life sentence of the man who was caught with an illegal gun. This is Undiluted News, Mikey Bones reporting. The Director of Public Prosecution will be appealing the sentence which was handed down to Atlee Murray, who on September 19 pleaded guilty to possession of a prohibited weapon, unauthorized possession of ammunition. She said it exceeded the punishment stipulated by a Firearms Act. DPP Paula Llewellyn yesterday said the maximum sentence which could have been imposed on Murray for possession of a prohibited weapon was 25 years imprisonment, with him serving 10 years before being eligible for parole. The DPP also revealed that the sentence imposed on Murray for unauthorized possession of ammunition fell below the minimum stated in law. She said for that offense, Murray could have only been sentenced to life imprisonment with the possibility for parole after 15 years. She said the sentences are therefore null and an appeal will be made. And you can see that this is why people will continue to murder people in Jamaica, because the people who are supposed to see justice done are opposed to capital punishment and better sentencing. They would prefer to see all criminals just pay a small fine and go home to commit murder again. And it is time for the gunmen to turn the gun on some of these elite people, and maybe we will see them have a different frame of mind. The law in Jamaica is not a deterrent, so the killing will continue. The only way to get justice in Jamaica is by reprisal or jungle justice. You can see that now. Meanwhile, the Kingston Western Police are keeping a close watch on Tivoli Gardens following a recent exchange of gunfire between members of the security forces and the gunmen. Senior Superintendent Michael Phillips, head of the Kingston Western Police, said patrol teams have been coming under attack by armed men in recent weeks. He said the gunmen are planning further attacks upon the security forces as well. He is also warning that the security forces will continue to pursue them and will use all lawful means to ensure that those involved in criminal activities are brought to swift justice. SSP Phipps cautioned that people caught sheltering suspects will be charged. Two men were shot and killed after a gunman carried out a brazen attack along Princess Street in downtown Kingston yesterday morning. Dead are 55-year-old Roland Hilton of Harborview and 41-year-old Everald Scott of Hanover Street in Kingston. The police said that sometime before 11 o'clock, both men were in a confrontation with another man when the suspect, armed with a firearm, intervened and opened fire at Hilton and Scott. The gunman escaped on foot in the area. Both injured men were taken by a motorist to Kingston Public Hospital, where they were pronounced dead. And you see how easy it is for someone to get killed. The police said that they have made a breakthrough into last month's fatal shooting of a Chinese national at his business establishment in Westmoreland. Navida Scarlett, 27-year-old, has been charged for the murder of 52-year-old Tiana Youngming, a resident of Deans Valley in the parish. He has also been charged with wounding with intent after an employee of Mr. Youngming was shot in the incident as well. Investigators said that on October 8, Mr. Youngming and his workers were inside the store when the accused and two other men entered. The men pulled guns and began robbing Mr. Youngming. On leaving, the men reportedly opened fire at the businessman and one of his employees. Both were taken to hospital where the businessman was pronounced dead. Scarlett, who was recently captured, was charged on Sunday. Meanwhile, a man suspected to be involved in several murders in Clarendon was killed Sunday on Church Street in Lioneltown. The deceased is 34-year-old Kevin Mitchell, otherwise called Coogan, a shop owner of Church Street. And it's reported that about 7:25 p.m., Mitchell was making an illegal connection to a Jamaica Public Service Company post when he was attacked by men who fired several shots, hitting him in the upper body and head. Mitchell was pronounced dead at hospital. The police said he was a suspect in the murders of two women in Alley in 2018 and a man in Lioneltown in 2020. He was also said to be affiliated with a gang which is operating out of Clarendon. Two primary school students and a man were reportedly shot and killed shortly after 7 p.m. yesterday in the volatile community of Salt Spring in St. James. According to a police source, it is believed that the man was the target of the gun attack and the children were unintended victims. And this is the latest in a series of deadly shootings that have rocked the Salt Spring community in recent times. On October 26, students of a Salt Spring Primary School were left traumatized by the shooting death of 22-year-old Imani Jarrett and her common-law husband, 30-year-old O'Dane Simmet. According to the police, armed thugs intercepted a taxi, removed the couple, and opened fire, killing both of them. And just mere hours later, Anthony Forbes was shot and killed in the early hours of Friday morning while at home with his son. His son was injured during the attack, which saw assailants kicking in the door to his dwellings. On to sports, we're going to deal with some Premier League. Defending champions Mount Pleasant FA won their second straight game of the Ray and Neville Jamaica Premier League on Sunday, blanking Dunbeholden 3-0 at Drax Hall in St. Anne. They were joined at the top of the points table by Waterhouse, who beat promoted Limehall 3-1 in the first game of the doubleheader. Both are on 6 points. Portmore, who were beaten by Mount Pleasant in their opening game, kept promoted Treasure Beach winless as they won 3-1 thanks to a double from Alex Marshall, who had missed the opening game. Montego Bay United meanwhile edged Cavaliers 1-0 with wingback Lucas Lima Correa heading home a corner in the 67th minute. And in the other game played on Sunday, Humble Lions and Mullines United played to a 1-1 draw. Now last night we had Vere United secure their first victory with a 2-1 win over Tivoli Gardens at Stadium East. Dustin Cohen put the Clarendon-based club ahead in the 4th minute. Vere clinched the victory with a well-taken goal by Sujay Graham in the 28th minute. And this win sees Vere unbeaten in their 2 games with 4 points, while Tivoli is suffering their first defeat after an opening day victory against Waterhouse. On to schoolboy football, we are now in the quarterfinals of the Manning Cup with 2 groups of games playing today. Each team playing each other once, and the first and the second place team will move on to the semi-final. Group 1, which have Stats, Mona, KC and St. Catherine. Mona, who battled to a 1-1 draw with former champions Kingston College in the first game, will face St. Catherine this evening, while former champions and top seed St. Andrew Tech beat St. Catherine 2-0 on Saturday. They will clash with Kingston College. In Group 2, which have Jamaica College, St. George's, Hydel and Tivoli, will see former champions St. George's, who had a 2-0 win over Tivoli. They will battle with a very tough Hydel High. Defending champions Jamaica College, who lost 1-0 to Hydel, will try to make amends when they face Tivoli. And there will be no games in the DaCosta Cup today. There is only 8 teams left standing, and the round of 8 begins tomorrow. For the quarterfinal rounds tomorrow, holders Clarendon College, Glenmore High, Manchester High and Christiana are in Group 1, while the other group has BB Coke, Dintil Tech, Cornwall College, and Garvey Maceo. And don't forget that the best Manning Cup and DaCosta Cup reports takes place on this radio station. If you ever miss the news on this station, please go to YouTube, type in Jamaican Undiluted News, listen, like, share, and subscribe to keep it going. That's news and sports on your favorite radio station. My name is Mikey Bones. I gone.